So the Rochdale line was closed for 2 weeks in May. I thought I'd share what was actually happening for those that don't know, at least to the best of my ability. I'm the enthusiast, not the expert. I just like seeing the works on the tracks, to be honest, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing them as well. Anyway, first we'll head to Monsall, just one of the 3 locations where work was happening on the Rochdale line for those 2 weeks, and this is actually where I got the most footage. I arrived at Monsall early on the first day of the works, at least what I thought was early, because they'd already started to lift the old tracks at Monsall at around 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, like, look, you can see there the rail is like... the rail's off the concrete there. So in 2022, a temporary speed restriction was added to a small section around Monsall, due to the state of the track making it unsafe for running trams at normal speed, and then in 2023 another restriction was added onto the other track, meaning that trams running through Monsall in both directions were being slowed down. And now both of these issues are being fixed by replacing both of the current tracks and the concrete sleepers holding them in place. A few months ago they moved all the new stuff over here, and now what they're doing is actually putting it into place on the track bed. And by 12 o'clock the track was completely gone. And it was really interesting to see like the full process of the track being replaced. I hope it's interesting for you guys as well. Yeah, it was really interesting to see. And on day 5 we get the first exciting sight of the new tracks down at Monsall. So here's that day. Okay, so great news. All looking new, looking very exciting. Well, I've seen it happen gradually. Like day 1, the track was lifted. Day 2, the track ballast was gone. Day 3, I didn't see much, but I think some drainage works were happening, or something like that. Day 4, the track ballast was relayed. Then day 5, we see this. So the tram line opened in 2012, in June. Obviously the tracks are going to be older than that. Yeah, the tracks are probably about, let's say 2009, so 17 years old. Days 6 to 10, they basically saw the exact same thing happening with the outbound track. Right, so today is the 25th, today's 25th, so 10th day of the improvement works on the Rochdale line. Just got 4 full days to go, and then apparently the works should be finishing on Saturday morning. What's happening on the line now? I haven't been to Monsall in a few days. Pretty much all of the track work, in terms of placing down the concrete sleepers and the new rails, has been done. And they had basically finished all of the track work on day 13. And so there wasn't really that much more for me to document after that, except I had a thought on day 13. What if, on the extremely slim chance, I get to Monsall on day 14, the last day of the improvement works, and I somehow catch a test tram? So I did stop by Monsall for a little bit. I kid you not, I was there for about 40 seconds, and then I saw it. I saw it coming down the tunnel, I saw the headlights, and I was like, oh, I've got to film this now. I really thought I wasn't going to find the test tram today, and there you go. That is one of the first trams going through Monsall after the works have been done. There it goes, into the stop. It's currently not running at full speed. I believe that's going to come later, but obviously I'm not going to stay here for that long. I want to go home. That's great. I really thought that I wasn't going to see a test tram today. I wish I could have filmed the moment where I was like, yes! Content, you know? There it goes. I'm not sure if that is the actual first tram to test the new track. So after the work's finished, I returned to Monsall one more time to catch some in-service trams running on the new track. So there you go, that's what happened at Monsall. The next stop will be Newton Heath and Moston.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks. Alright, Newton Heath and Moston, let's see what we can see. I got there on day one at about 8 AM. The track was lifted already. I thought it was just going to be drainage works happening here, but apparently not. Apparently it's full track replacement work. Yeah, that's really cool to see. Like, the tracks are gone. They are going to be replaced soon. Okay, I need to explain something about Newton Heath. So, as you can see, one platform serves trams in both directions. You might be able to see up there, there's a junction there where the two directions separate again and it becomes double track like it usually is. And the other track over there is just used for freight services. There is a recycling centre up there, so freight services use that to get to the recycling centre. This used to be a railway station. It was called Dean Lane. There used to be a second platform over there, but for Metrolink, just one platform was added here, but they kept the freight line. I did come round for a bit on day 5, and I did see that some water pumps were in action. Some of the track ballast had been relaid, but there was no new track down yet. However, the next picture I took on day 10, we do see some of the new track. They look slightly different to the ones at Monsall. Like the ones at Monsall actually look newer. But again, I'm not 100% sure on all the details. I'm the enthusiast, not the expert, but this was really interesting to see. And here we go, this is day 14. Most of the work is finished. There are still some workers on the tracks though. I assume that the test tram that we saw earlier did pass through here late at night on the 29th of May, but that is just my assumption. Alright, so we're going to be on this bus for a while. Okay, so basically I'm going to give you a bit of background. So there was a landslip on the Rochdale line on the 10th of July 2024. Temporary repairs had to be done on that part of the track, and the line reopened on the 19th of August, but those were temporary measures, and now they're carrying out phase 1 of the permanent works. The actual place where the landslip happened was way up there, which we're going to hopefully make our way towards, and it seems like something is happening right now. They're just positioning that wagon on the tracks, it looks like, for carrying new rails, supposedly. Hold on a minute. No, they are not new rails. Hold on. Wait, what are they? The things that I saw that vaguely looked like steel were actually the steel supports that were mentioned on the TFGM website. They were not the new rails. Wow, I remember the last time I was here. I was filming for the Oldham Loop series. I went up here and I talked about Royston Junction. They're just moving the wagon back to Derker. Okay, you can see the tram lines pretty clearly from here, but the actual landslip, and there we go, found some workers. Up there is where the landslip happened. You can see the track is just a little bit disfigured if you look closely. Since the line reopened on the 19th of August 2024, they have been running at 20 miles an hour on this section, but in the next few months, that issue is going to be fixed. The replacement buses actually pretty much bypassed Oldham Town Centre entirely, because there were two tram stops, Oldham King Street and Oldham Central, that couldn't actually be served by the replacement buses for two separate reasons. First, at Oldham King Street, you might remember a few months ago, a building collapsed on King Street, and now part of that road is closed, so that's why the replacement buses couldn't get there. Oldham Central is pedestrianised, the area around there is pedestrianised, so no replacement buses through there. And so Oldham Mumps was the only tram stop that was being served by replacement buses. The only thing that I'd say was really weird about it is that sometimes they were running single-deck buses, and as you can probably predict, they were really crowded, but that only happened once or twice. Yep, so there you go, that is the Rochdale Line closure between the 16th and the 29th of May. Again, I'd recommend you go to my website if you've made it this far in the video, because I'm pretty sure that if you found all of this interesting, you'll find what I have on my website very interesting as well. I basically just document anything about the Metrolink that I can. It's basically Metrolink news, that's what it is. So yeah, subscribe if you like, and thanks for watching.